Hello and welcome to today's webinar on immune health. My name is Lim Guan Yu. I'm the Deputy Editor at Food Navigator Asia and I will be your moderator for this session. The market for immunity-related products is already one of the strongest segments in functional foods and supplements. And in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, more than ever, consumers today are turning to products that can enhance their immune systems. When choosing healthy lifestyle products, among Asian consumers, 41% say research on ingredients is important and 39% cite scientific data as vital. So, our topic today will touch on the increasing demand for these immunity products, the importance of research-backed ingredients in determining the efficacy of these products, and how manufacturers can tap on some of these ingredients like beta-glucans to create products that consumers value. Joining me today to discuss these topics are Anchal A. Kumar, Business Development Manager at Kerry, as well as Dr. Dawn Cox, Kerry's Senior Vice President of R&D. Just before we get started, I have a couple of housekeeping items to go over. If you have any questions for our panel, please submit them in the Q&A box on the left. We will try to answer as many questions as we can. If you experience any technical difficulties while viewing the webinar, please refresh your browser as this will clear most problems. If this doesn't help, then type your issue into the Q&A box and a member of our technical team will assist you. If you look at the left of your screen, you should see a list of handouts for you to download from today's broadcast. Finally, to make this webinar more interactive for you at home, we would like to invite you to participate in the polls we will be having throughout the session. Okay, with that settled, I would like to hand off to our first speaker. Anchal, please.
Thank you for the introduction, Lynn, and welcome everybody. We are glad that you were able to join us today. We hope that you and your close ones are keeping safe during these times and keeping healthy. So, the immune system is the body's first line of defense against a range of potential challenges like microorganisms, foreign particles, and the resulting infections. In the recent evolving scenario, consumers are taking a proactive approach towards their health and wellness more than ever before. And this is causing an increased demand for functional foods, beverages, and dietary supplements globally. Immune health benefits are among the strongest growing demands as consumers are keen to take preventive measures to support their health. And this they want to achieve through nutrition and the products that they consume. According to Kerry's Global Consumer Survey on immune health, Asian consumers ranked immune system support as the first most important reason for purchasing healthy lifestyle products. 42% of consumers had purchased products with immune health benefits in the past 6 months, and 26% said they would consider purchasing these products. This shows the total market potential of 68% interested consumers. Now, we know that immune health is of importance to everyone, but it is especially important for certain consumer target groups. For example, families with children. On an average, a child falls ill 6 to 10 times a year, and we all know how that impacts the entire family. Another target group is that of athletes or weekend warriors, as exercising temporarily weakens the immune system. Similarly, those who are experiencing lifestyle stress. Stress suppresses the immune system, and unfortunately, stress is on the rise. In fact, 70% women experience unhealthy stress levels. Then we have the aging population. Euromonitor has projected 1.3 billion Asians to be aged 60 years or more by 2050. As we age, the body's immune system naturally weakens, but the desire for active lifestyle does not. And so aging consumers actively seek immune support benefits from food, beverages, and supplements. When it comes to immune health benefits, the consumers are not just looking at dietary supplements, but are also interested in a wide range of food and beverage products. These products that are consumed on a daily basis are required to avail immunity benefits. On the left, you can see the category of products the consumers are most interested in purchasing if they offer immune supporting benefits. Among these consumers, mothers and households with kids preferred purchasing children's beverages and infant formulas with immune support benefits. Athletes showed more preference for sports nutrition products, nutrition bars, meal replacements, or immunity-enhancing products. More than 55% consumers prefer to obtain immune health benefits from beverage products like fruit and vegetable juices, yogurt, yogurt-based drinks, enhanced waters, milk and non-dairy drinks. When consumers were asked about most preferable meal occasions to consume healthy lifestyle products, breakfast, mid-morning, and mid-afternoon were considered the best times. The trend for consuming foods with health benefits during breakfast and earlier parts of the day is globally consistent. This is likely due to the desire to start the day healthier and also the habitual nature of foods consumed during these times. So what drives purchase of healthy lifestyle products in Asia? Based on consumer survey results, 41% consumers in Asia are encouraged to purchase a healthy lifestyle product after doing their own research on the product's ingredients and benefits. So when developing a new product, the key considerations should be how the health benefits are conveyed and what really motivates the consumer to buy healthy lifestyle products. Further findings highlight that consumers see research or scientific data claims on the product as a top purchase driver. In Thailand, for example, 51% consumers consider research data a top driver. At the point of sale, consumers in many markets like to see clear information on the label regarding efficacy. In China, 48% of respondents said that they like to see the benefits of a healthy lifestyle product explained and supported on the packaging. These findings give us an insight into how consumers judge nutritional and functional products, and they can be used as benchmarks when profiling potential ingredients. The global demand for immune health products is clear. The situation in recent times is evolving fast, and the world is trying hard to adapt to the new challenges and changes in lifestyle and food habits. Google Trends data in February-March 2020 showed more than 670% increase in Google searches for the word food and immune system globally. The sales of supplements also spiked, while consumers raced to boost immunity, growing the multivitamin category by 23%. In this crowded market space where brands are striving to be relevant, there are too many options confusing consumers, and the most sure-shot way to gain consumer attention is to offer products with quality research and substantiated claims. When evaluating an immune health ingredient, quality research is the key to understand and communicate the safety of an ingredient, how it works, and its benefits. All of these help to deliver products consumers can trust and value.
Thank you, Anchal, for the interesting presentation. So, we have come to our first poll. What is most important to you in an immune ingredient? Is it science-backed benefits, safety, allergen-free, consumer awareness, ease of formulation, or cost? Again, what is most important to you in an immune ingredient? Let us know what you think. Thank you for participating. Now I would like to invite Don to share his insights with everyone. Don, please.
Thank you, Lim, and good morning, everyone. We're going to talk a little bit about why research is important when looking at and considering immune health ingredients. So research is the key to creating successful immune health products. Obviously, any kind of research that is done to understand and better communicate the effectiveness of an immune health ingredient requires research that builds credibility. And an ingredient that is backed by science, that has a lot of research behind it, will cut through the noise and stand out above the crowd so that it makes the ingredient much more acceptable for use in your food, beverage, and supplement products. So an ingredient that is safe, natural, and clinically proven can help to reduce the fear of the unknown and give you confidence in the effectiveness of that ingredient. When evaluating an immune health ingredient, it's important to understand how it works. We refer to this as the mechanism of action. So a high-quality immune health ingredient is going to be supported by research that demonstrates the biological activity and provides a good understanding of its mechanism of action in the body. So research that shows an ingredient can help strengthen the body's natural immune defense mechanisms and helps to maintain the immune system balance is much more important than just stimulating the immune system. And something that works naturally with the immune system is going to be considered safe, effective, and it can be taken year-round. Also, biomarker testing is important because it helps us to better understand the biological changes that occur when a product is consumed. When we look at designing a clinical research study. We're looking at how we want those results to be communicated eventually, how to understand the outcomes of the research, and the type of research that supports that ingredient. So generally, we will look for multiple peer-reviewed published clinical studies, and we want to be able to base those studies on the efficacy of the ingredient. So the efficacy of any functional ingredient is going to be affected by its chemical structure, and that's going to vary by the particular source of that functional ingredient. Many of the types of primary outcomes that we're looking at are going to relate to biomarkers and physical health outcomes. So we want to see positive results from these biomarkers and physical health outcomes in our studies, and we want the research to demonstrate that at a particular serving size or intake of that functional ingredient, that it demonstrates the efficacy of the product. To ensure that an immune health ingredient works well, we need to make sure that it's stable, and we need to characterize it well and understand it. That means the ability to measure and standardize the ingredient is very important so that we can deliver the appropriate serving size. You have to have consistency in manufacturing. That generally means using good manufacturing processes. And we also have to have a good understanding of the stability and shelf life of the ingredient. And then finally, understanding its biological mechanism of action is very important, and a knowledge of how to formulate the ingredient in a wide range of applications, because there are many different forms of products that we want to deliver these benefits in. Of course, a wide range of foods, beverages, supplements, etc.
Now we've come to our second poll. Are you currently working with any of these immune ingredients, zinc, echinacea, vitamin C, or beta-glucan? Again, the question is, are you currently working with any of these immune ingredients? Let us know. Thank you for your participation. I will now pass the time back to Don.
So when we're evaluating different types of immune health ingredients, there are a wide range of concerns that we would have with these ingredients. For example, we want to demonstrate that the ingredients are effective. We want to have good clinical research behind those ingredients, and we want to have a good understanding of the mechanism of action. So some of the more popular ingredients that are out there currently include zinc. And while zinc is popular, the research supporting its benefits are mixed. And supplementation with zinc may not be needed, as many consumers get enough through their typical diet. So there is some research suggesting that it may reduce the duration and severity of cold symptoms by about 40%, but the research lacks consistent results, and despite numerous trials, zinc supplementation remains questionable for treating colds. And also there are some interactions between zinc products and other medications. And while the average requirement that a typical human has for zinc ranges from 5 to 11 milligrams per day, a recent meta-analysis showed that daily elemental zinc dosage needed to be about 75 milligrams to be effective. And also zinc lozenges have been shown to cause some adverse effects, such as a bad mouth taste and constipation. Another common ingredient is echinacea. And echinacea is an interesting ingredient that's been around for a long time as an immune support ingredient, but echinacea stimulates the immune system, which means it can overactivate the system, not just necessarily support it. So some people have experienced GI-related side effects like nausea and stomach pain when taking echinacea, and in kids and adults that are prone to allergies, echinacea may cause rashes and other concerns. So one of the issues with understanding a product like echinacea as an herbal ingredient is its efficacy is going to be mixed because it requires a better understanding of and standardizing of the echinacea. The varied preparations make it hard to study, and while research has shown some immune health benefit, looking at the full profile of the data shows inconclusive results, possibly because some of the varied preparations might consist of the flower, others might consist of the flower and the leaves, etc. So the research to date doesn't really reveal which product is best or exactly how to take it, but generally it can only be taken for a short period of time, generally no more than about 10 days or so for it to be safe. after which time it's generally recommended that people stop taking this type of immune support supplement. Another common immune health ingredient is vitamin C. Vitamin C is well known by consumers, obviously, but supplementation may not be needed at all and can actually cause some harmful effects. So certainly taking large doses of the vitamin is not advisable, and taking too much can be potentially harmful. So research shows that the nutrient appears to have modest prevention power and requires a high dosage. So for the general population, taking vitamin C does not necessarily reduce the risk of getting a cold. And some research has shown it may speed up recovery and reduce the severity of symptoms. Beta-glucans are growing in popularity and awareness of their benefits, but the source matters. For example, oat beta-glucans are a soluble form of beta-glucan. They're well known for promoting heart health benefits. They help to block the uptake of cholesterol in our gastrointestinal tract. Mushroom beta-glucans are known to have some immune health benefits, but their potency is generally lower, and the research on the potential benefits is mixed. The yeast beta-glucans are well known, generally derived from baker's yeast and some from brewer's yeast. The source matters, and not all the strains are going to be the same because since we're isolating the beta-glucan from the cell wall of yeast, it may be that the structural uniqueness of each strain is such that the research on each strain must be conducted to demonstrate its effectiveness. Now, we'd like to talk a little bit about Wellmune. Wellmune is a natural food, beverage, and supplement ingredient. It's a baker's yeast beta-glucan. It's a beta-1316 glucan. And generally it helps to make it easier for people of all ages to be well and stay well. It's backed by over a dozen clinical studies, and it's been demonstrated to be a very well-researched form of yeast beta-glucan and perhaps the best supported immune health ingredient available. So Wellmune's mechanism of action is very well documented and has been the subject of peer-reviewed research for well over 20 years. It's supported by a lot of biomarker research, mechanism of action studies, and more than a dozen peer-reviewed clinical research studies that demonstrate the ability to help maintain overall physical health, help to maintain healthy energy levels, and to provide immune support for all ages and lifestyles. The overall effect of Wellmune is to prime the immune system rather than stimulate it. So, for example, we know that priming the immune system means that we're able to work with the existing immune system rather than overstimulating it. So how does Wellmune work? Well, Wellmune's mechanism of action has been very well studied, as we said earlier. We know that when it's consumed, it's taken up into the body through the gut, through specialized immune tissue in your small intestine. Immune cells in the gut called macrophages ingest or consume the Wellmune and then enter the circulatory system and travel to various immune organs located throughout the body. Once it reaches these various immune organs, the macrophages work to break down the Wellmune into smaller fragments that then bind to neutrophils, the most abundant immune cell in the body. Once the Wellmune is bound to a neutrophil, it helps the neutrophil to move more quickly to recognize and remove or destroy a non-self cell, such as a foreign challenge. So Wellmune's superior quality and efficacy is due to the portfolio of human clinical research that demonstrate the overall efficacy, and it's made this into a hero ingredient for immune support. The depth of evidence that supports Wellmune is specific only to the strain and proprietary processing methods for this particular form of beta-glucan. Wellmune is highly purified to offer safe and consistent immune health benefits, and other immune health ingredients might fall short in quality or efficacy due to manufacturing and standardization differences.
Thank you, Don, for the great insights. Our next poll is, what application are you looking to add immune benefits to? Is it supplement, food, or beverage? Again, the question is, what application are you looking to add immune benefits to? Let us know what you think. Thank you for participating. I will now pass the time back to Anchal.
Market players have been racing to come up with not just supplements that support immune health, but also to develop food and beverages with functional ingredients that can be consumed on a daily basis to support immunity. The number of product launches claiming immune benefits keep growing in apnea. The cereal and energy bars category, for example, showed a 4-year CAGR of 57% for products launched with an immune health claim in apnea. Among these, 57% of the new bar launches were in India alone. The snack category shows a 34% CAGR for product launches with immune health benefits. Other categories that follow are mainly beverages like meal replacements, sports and energy drinks, milk and plant-based drinks. An interesting observation is that products launched with vitamin C and echinacea showed a growth of 14% and 31% respectively, while 55% products were launched with beta-glucan with an immune health claim. This shows a strong transition in choice of ingredients for immune support benefits, and beta-glucan has clearly gained more popularity over the past few years. The formulation opportunities with Wellmune beta-glucan are endless. Wellmune can be formulated as a standalone immune health product or as a multifunction product that offers several benefits. For example, when formulating for kids, combine Wellmune with other ingredients with approved immune health claims to further strengthen immunity messages to consumers. A good example is the Nurture Fruity Water launched in the UK. This product is created for children and is enriched with vitamins, minerals, zinc, and Wellmune to support children's immunity. While there is no approved claim for yeast beta-glucans in the EU, the manufacturer is using Wellmune as a key immune health ingredient because of the science and the clinical research behind the consumer-friendly brand. Beverages are also a great vehicle for giving healthy consumers the function and benefits they are looking for. A key benefit of formulating a beverage with Wellmune is that the ingredient is absolutely neutral in taste, odor, and does not interfere in any way with the product's sensory profile. It is soluble in beverages to give a clear-looking appearance, and so is great for use in products like enhanced waters. A good example of this is the GT's Dreamcatcher Sparkling Wellness Water. Other product categories to innovate in are nutrition bars, dairy products, hot beverages like soups, tea and coffee premixes, and in the snack segment where consumers are looking for on-the-go convenience but still want to stay healthy. Giving these consumers immune benefits in their great-tasting snacks serves the purpose for them. Overall, Wellmune is a very versatile ingredient. It can be used across different food, beverage, and supplement applications. It does not have an impact on taste. It is easy to use in manufacturing processes and has clinically proven health benefits. It's also safe for everyday consumption. Manufacturers are actively seeking Wellmune for their immune health products. Are you one of them?
Thank you, Enchal and Dawn,
Thank you.
for their interesting presentations. We shall now move on to the question and answer segment of today's webinar. Okay, we've had some good questions coming through already. Very quickly, I would just like to remind everyone listening that you may continue to submit more questions throughout the Q&A session. So the first question we have is for Dawn. Is Wellmune heat stable?
Yes, Wellmune is a very heat-stable ingredient. Generally, it will withstand the typical food processing, whether it's used in a baked good or a beverage that goes through UHT processing or even retort. The Wellmune is going to be very stable.
Okay, cool. So we have another question on, did the study on Wellmune include clinical endpoints? How large was the study and which age group was it studied on?
Well, we have a range of clinical studies on the Wellmune ingredient. We've done more than 15 studies. Most of the studies have been done with the typical age range of 18 to 70. We have done 3 children's studies as well, ages 1 to 4. And of course, we adjust the intake of the beta-glucan, the amount used in the study, based on the population that we're dealing with and their typically their average weight, age, etc. Hopefully that answered your question. Please feel free to rephrase the question if I didn't answer it in its entirety.
Yes, okay. Moving on to the next question. some amino acids have supported immune function. So when compared the efficacy with Wellmune, multivitamin, and vitamin C, which one is better?
Well, Wellmune has a very specific function. It really interacts with specific immune cells and has a very defined mechanism of action. Whereas a lot of your vitamins, including vitamin C, have a range of functions. Vitamins are very important, and we don't want to downplay the importance of vitamins. But a vitamin such as vitamin C acts as an antioxidant. It acts in ways other than just as for example, immune support. Whereas the function of the Wellmune ingredient is purely immune support, and there's a lot of data demonstrating exactly how its mechanism of action works with immune cells. So it's specific, whereas various other ingredients like multivitamins, vitamin C, are more general for general health applications.
Thank you. We have a question here for Enchao. So what are some regulatory challenges for food with immune health ingredients?
So in terms of regulatory challenges, when you are adding an ingredient with immune health benefits, I think what is most important is the quantification of that ingredient in the end product. In a supplement molecule, it is comparatively easier because there are lesser ingredients and complexes in the system. But when you're processing a food, based on the manufacturing processes, the recovery of the functional ingredient is very important. So you need to have a quantification method in place to check the amount of the ingredient in the end product post-processing. If we can do that, it becomes easier to move along the regulatory challenges in food segment. That's the only glitch that I see for the food segment.
How is Wellmune different from other beta-glucans for you, Enchao?
So Wellmune, like Don mentioned earlier, has more than a dozen clinical studies. How it is different is that all of the clinical trials that we have are human clinical trials, and they are very, very strain-specific to our strain of beta-glucan. The quality of research is superior. We have research on all age groups, including children. There are very few beta-glucan molecules which also have research on children and on a wide age group. It's got a very defined mechanism of action on how it works in the body and how it improves the immunity in the upper respiratory tract. So these are some distinctive factors of Wellmune.
Okay, we have a question here for Dawn. Is Wellmune stable at different pH levels?
Yes, we've evaluated Wellmune at the typical range of pH that would be used in foods and beverages, pH 3 to pH 8. At high temperatures, as high as 130 degrees, well, that'd be Fahrenheit, I'd have to convert that, and it is very stable, so you don't see degradation of the Wellmune in the normal pH, physiological pH range.
Okay, we've had a few questions also on dosage size for you, Dawn. How is serving size determined, and can one overconsume an immune health ingredient? And also, is the product fit for all age group with different dosages? What is what is the recommended dosage for different demographics, from athletes, kids to seniors?
Yep. The typical range for adults, we recommend 250 milligrams per day. That's what we've used in our studies, and that equates to approximately 2.5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. And we've evaluated that in the children's studies where, for example, one study, I remember published study, we used 35 milligrams, and the average weight of the children in the study was 14 kilograms. So 14 times 2.5 is 35. So we used 35 milligrams per kilogram and saw our optimal response there. In terms of the safety of Wellmune, it's a beta-glucan, which is a type of fiber. It is immune active. Your immune cells obviously react to it, and but because it's a fiber, it is very safe. We've tested it at over 1,000 times the typical dose, and not had any adverse reactions in any of our safety studies. So it's a very safe ingredient as well.
A listener here wants to know if Wellmune is available in a global form or a powder form.
It's in a powder form. It's a dry powder form. We typically ship it around the world, obviously, in a dry powder form. It can be used in a wide range of supplements, foods, and beverages. Another question that's asked here is it's asked if the Wellmune was researched in-house, meaning do we do the studies ourselves? No, all of our clinical research is done by independent universities and third-party research partners. We do not do any of the clinical research ourselves.
Okay, we've got a question here also for you, Don. Does adding Wellmune affect the taste of a product?
Generally, no. In a complex food formulation, generally you're not going to have any taste from the Wellmune. There are two forms, Wellmune soluble, which is completely tasteless, and the Wellmune dispersible, which depending on the formulation, because it's a dispersible or a particulate product, it could have some impact on the sensory attributes. But generally in a complex food or beverage formulation, a juice, a sports nutrition bar, a yogurt, a beverage, many other types of milk-based beverages, you're not going to have any impact of the Wellmune on the flavor.
Yes. Okay, we got a question here for Enchal. So earlier we found out that Wellmune can be applied across many applications such as food, beverage, and supplements. So in your opinion, what was the most interesting or unique application for Wellmune you have seen so far?
So I feel, especially the beverages category, where the beverage is very mildly flavored, or something as simple as an enhanced water or a plain water. Because Wellmune as a molecule does not impart any taste to the product. It's completely soluble to give clear-looking beverages. So from a formulation perspective and from a sensory perspective, any application which is a beverage and mildly flavored is very interesting for me. When we look at other functional ingredients, you have to work around challenges of stability, of taste, of odor, but you don't have those challenges with Wellmune. So I think a beverage application is the most interesting one with Wellmune.
This is a question from a listener who wants to know the handling and environmental conditions required in the R&D and commercial plant. Perhaps this is one for you, Don?
Generally handling it, no. There are no special requirements. It's a very stable ingredient, typically stable for many years. Our shelf life is normally declared at 5 years. In terms of dealing with it, it's a dry powder and does not require any specialized handling.
Right. So this is another question for you, Don. Will consuming vitamin C, zinc, or echinacea affect the efficacy of Wellmune if taken together?
Specifically, no, it will not have an effect on the Wellmune. They all function by different mechanisms. There is some published research that there might be a synergy with vitamin C and the Wellmune beta-glucan. We've not seen any research with the zinc or echinacea in combination with the Wellmune, but we would not expect any detrimental interactions. Simply they function by different mechanisms and will have hopefully a synergistic effect.
On the topic of consumption, what is the most suitable time or occasion to consume Wellmune that will maximize its efficacy?
We've had, in some of our studies, for example, we've had, of course, where we give a single serving of the Wellmune in a day. We've also had it where it's been consumed up to 3 times per day. So to get the total dose, the subjects in the study would have to consume it 3 times in a day. So it doesn't seem to matter what time of day you take it, or whether it's a single serving, or if you take it in across multiple servings to get the amount needed for the daily efficacy, which, as we said, in adults is 250 milligrams. So you could split that up into 2 or more servings per day, and you would have the same type of benefit.
A listener here wants to know if Wellmune can be used in dairy mixes.
Can you repeat that?
In dairy applications?
Yes, we've had it. Yes, it has been in numerous dairy products, Anchal. I don't know if you want to give some specific examples.
So we have had quite a few launches in the drinking yogurt category, in the set yogurt category with Wellmune. We also have launches in flavored milk category, UHT processed retort products. So yeah, it's pretty much stable in that application.
Right. All right. So we have a question here on what is the shelf life of Wellmune and what precautions must be taken when handling Wellmune?
The declared shelf life of the Wellmune powder in bulk form is 5 years. So it's a very stable material. Again, it's a fiber, and fibers are generally quite stable. What precautions must be taken while handling Wellmune? No special precautions are necessary. It is a dry powder and generally light in color, bland in flavor. And there's no dangers of dealing with it. As I said, it's a fiber, so there are no special precautions that are required.
Thanks for that. We've had another question on Hi, sorry for that. We've got a question on what is the best option to give Wellmune's beta-glucan? Is it alone or in combination with other immune boosters?
Well, I can state from the research that we've generally worked with Wellmune alone, and we don't generally include other immune supplements, immune ingredients in combination with the Wellmune. The reason is we're studying the benefits of Wellmune to demonstrate that it has a consistent benefit. And for example, if we're looking at immune biomarkers in the blood, we want to make sure the effect that we're seeing in our clinical research is from the Wellmune. So in general, we work with it alone, but there are many formulations with probiotics, with vitamin C, et cetera, that our customers have generated in their product formulations. So it can be easily formulated with other immune health ingredients, but in terms of what we've studied clinically, we've generally looked at just the Wellmune ingredient.
So if, say, Wellmune was used in lesser quantities, say 100 mg per day for adults, can we expect any immune benefits?
Certainly you're going to have some immune effect even at that level, but we've studied it, the lowest we've studied it at in adults is 250 milligrams, and in children at the 35 milligrams. So anything I say with respect to a dose of, let's say, 100 milligrams would be speculation, because I have to deal with data. But my scientific opinion is that you would still see an effect at a lower dose. Simply, it would require further research to really build the database around the lower dose levels.
Right. We've got a listener here wants to know if Wellmune has any safety data on the long-term consumption and maximum daily dosage.
Yes, we've done. We have a published toxicology paper that where we used. I think we used 150 times the standard dose in that published paper. We have additional research that we can share where we have used 1,000 times the standard dose and still see safety from the product, because again, it's a beta-glucan fiber, and though it has immune activity, it's still a fiber in terms of its interaction with the body.
Right. So I think we have run out of time for today's webinar, and I would like to thank our speakers, Anchal and Dawn, for their great presentations, and you at home for joining us as well. This has been a very fascinating insight into immune health ingredients, one of the hottest topics, especially in view of the current pandemic. Now, Just a reminder that this webinar will be available on demand for the next 3 months, and our sincere apologies to those whose questions we have not addressed. We will get back to you individually after the session has concluded. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. We hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.